YouTubers and various spambots on the internet. We're playing Depression Quest and we just told our girlfriend what's been going on. Because she's worried about us. But now we're afraid that she's going to leave us, even though that's a totally irrational fear. If she leaves you, it's probably for something else. But let's just keep reading. So how can I help? What do you need me to do? She asks. You think for a second, and the answer you come up with fills you with despair. I honestly don't know. I wish I knew how to fix this, but I don't know that you can do anything. I think it's something I just have to live with. She looks at you with sad eyes before kissing you on the forehead. Then I'll live with it with you. I don't know how you could possibly love me. She rolls over and wraps her arms around your neck, settling her head on top of yours. You don't need to, just know that I do. Oh, it changed again. You were definitely still depressed, but things are getting better. Whatever you're doing seems to be working. You really feel like you're taking steps to affect positive change in your life. You now seem to enjoy seeing your therapist. Between you giving you a chance to talk things out and the CBT techniques she shares with you, you find your session is extremely helpful. And then you're not currently taking medication for your depression. It's still staticky, but I stand by my guns. I don't trust mental pills. It just seems wrong. It's a Friday night and you're laying across your bed feeling pathetic. As you were leaving work tonight, a group of coworkers asked if you wanted to join them for drinks. Feeling antisocial and put on the spot, you declined. You have a habit of doing this. You're often so convinced that you're weird and terrible, and that any invitation to hang out will end up in disappointment for those inviting you. You never feel like you know how to act in group outings, and you feel like a total creep since it seems to come so naturally to anyone who isn't you. You find yourself petrified of breaking some unknown social rule that you don't often go out. See, I have the exact opposite problem. I'm so awkward that I don't know how to ask my friends if I can go with them. Sorry. Now, however, you find yourself alone at home. Your brain has begun telling you how pathetic and sad you are for being unable to just be a normal person and go out with nice people. You can't figure out why you can't just go out and meet people and enjoy yourself. At the same time, you also feeling like no one would possibly want to hang out with you if they really knew you, because you're dull and weird anyway. You try your typical strategy and boot up Netflix to distract yourself from these feelings, but frustration with yourself builds and you realize you have to do something else with your night. Anything else to take your mind off of how awful and lonely you feel right now. What do? Oh my god. I was sitting here thinking, you should play with your cat. And it's right there. It's right there. Dude, play with that cat. Aw, yeah. Nights like this, you're very glad you made the call to become a cat owner. Feeling too socially burnt out to interact with other people, you go find your cat. You get her to chase a laser pointer for a solid 30 minutes before she tires herself out. Yeah. She pats over to you and collapses in a heap on your lap, purring loudly. Though initially she hated being picked up, you carry her to the computer desk with you and she doesn't object. Setting her down in your lap, you comfortably surf the internet for a while before heading to bed. Having her here with you has a calming effect, and it makes you feel a lot less alone. Petting cats or dogs or anything with fur actually lowers your blood pressure and helps take some stress off of you. So it's good to have a pet to pet. It's a cold Saturday afternoon. You've just arrived at Alex's apartment, and you're happy to finally see her after a week of absence due to your schedules not lining up due to work and school. You hug her in the doorway, but she breaks away sooner than normal. Oh boy. And sits down on the couch as you take off your sneakers and lay them on the usual place right next to hers. There's something I was hoping we could talk about, actually, she says. You instantly worry that you're being blindsided by a breakup conversation due to the sudden shift of tone. But she quickly smiles and puts you at ease once she sees all of the color leave your face. It's nothing bad, I promise. With that, she leads you over to the couch and sits on the other end of it, facing you. I had to take a drink, I'm sorry. Okay, that's better. So I hope this doesn't freak you out, and if you feel like things are going too fast, just tell me. She talks faster than usual and fidgets. We seem to have a lot of weeks like this, and they really suck. I was thinking I'd ask, since things are so strong with us, what are your thoughts on maybe moving in together? It takes a few seconds to sink in, and leaves you a bit shocked when it does. You were worried she wanted to spend less time with you, not more. Do you want to, you ask? Well, yeah, I do. I mean, we'd have to sort out logistics and everything, but those are all things we can take care of. You start to walk through the steps of imagining the two of you living together. You love the thought of being able to wake up next to her every day and seeing her so often. However, the more you picture it, the more a few concerns become apparent. There are things she's insulated from, like the days you don't feel like you can even get out of bed, the frequent nights you're unable to shut your brain up long enough to sleep, all those moments you're stuck staring at the wall, completely out of energy and feeling nothing. How would she handle that? How quickly would you want to get away? So, she starts, what do you think? So, it seems like the things that are crossed off now are just, like, doing these things easily. Like, it's always difficult. I think it's a good idea, but she really does need to know about those things. You're really worried that if Alex were to live with you, she wouldn't be able to deal with your days of being unable to get out of bed or nights when you can do nothing but stare at the wall in panic. Even though you've discussed your situation with her, you still feel like she doesn't realize the depths of how bad it gets. It's one thing for you to detail how you feel sometimes, and for her to see it pop up occasionally. It's an entirely different situation for it to be something she has to live with alongside you. Well, I'd like to, but I think it's best if we talk about it a bit more before committing to a decision. Though she seems a little defeated, you make it clear that you're not making excuses and actually mean that you want to talk. You reiterate a lot of what you've told Alex that night, and although she gets a little defensive and tells you that she knows all of it already, she confirms that she's willing to help you sort through your issues. I feel like you forget I love you sometimes. I know that there will be bad days, and I'd rather try to work through them with you. We can figure all this out, together. Her words sway you, and you can't help but hold her close to you. You are doing well. You may still have your bad days, but you now have effective ways to deal with them, and you don't get nearly as low as you used to, or for as long. You still visit your therapist, and even she has remarked on how much more alive you seem lately. That's kind of where I am right now. Like, I still have some bad days, but... It's December, and you've returned to your parents' house to celebrate the holidays with your family. Out the living room window, you see a gentle flurry of snow drifting down to meet the pristine blanket of white from yesterday's unexpected Christmas Eve snowfall, and you quietly laugh to yourself at how incredibly cliche it seems. Dude, Christmas is the only time I ever want snow. Still, as you sit down to dinner, you can't help but notice how being surrounded by family and the overly kitschy... It's pronounced kitschy, I think. Atmosphere your mom's decorations have created have actually made you feel relaxed and almost comfortable. Your mom is running around frantically checking the oven and the stockings and just generally trying to family time it up, while your dad sits at the head of the table drinking a beer and laughing with your brother Malcolm. His wife Karen is there too, whom you've always got along well with, and your parents even agreed to let you bring your kitten along. She's been darting in and out of people's legs and hopping into laps all night. Oh my god, this is adorable. This is an adorable scene that's being set up. But where's Alex? As you thoughtfully munch away at your turkey, listening to the conversations around you, your thoughts drift back over to the last few months. You think about how hard things had gotten, replaying over in your head some of your worst, as well as some of your best memories. It seems like all those things just came to a head over the past few months with a sudden flurry of relationship turmoil and professional anxiety. Social stress and, above all, an omnipresent sense of weight that seems you have just recently become aware of. You're drawn out of your reverie to your dad's familiar booming laugh as some cheesy comment Malcolm made seems to have hit its mark. Sitting at the table, you're suddenly immensely glad for the chance to be able to ignore everything for an evening and not have to struggle trying to explain yourself for once. Fortunately, everyone seems to be content with laughing at each other's jokes and discussing favorite sports teams, and for a while, you think you'll be able to get through dinner without any embarrassing personal intrusions. But no sooner did the thought cross your mind than the table conversation trickles off, leaving a slightly awkward silence to descend upon the dinner. Oh man, let's hope we can get through this. I thought this was like the end of the game, and I was like, okay, we're having, a bittersweet ending, like everything's alright, but every once in a while, no, something else is happening. Oh man. So, we'll have to see what happens next time. Bye-bye.